They were rampaging along, won their first 2 games. They've lost their last 2, but they could have probably won both of them.
A fantastic looking facility there in the deep south.
I'm sure they're going to come out firing tonight.
From memory, he was leading last week. Are you going to be leading this week, or?
Second from bottom with 6 points and second from bottom with 5. Yes and no. Yes and no. It paid off for them. They got a 2, double the 4 and won 6 points. Depends what the teams above you do, doesn't it?
Unbiased, Miles Davis. Welcome to a very special edition of Unbiased with Miles Davis, or perhaps we should call this one Biased, because we've got a preview of a magnificent event taking place in Dunedin at the beginning of September. To learn more about it, I've got the CEO of Bowls New Zealand with me, Mark Cameron. Mark, can you give us a bit of an insight? I know this is a new event. There's a lot of excitement about it around the bowling community, but we need to know a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I think this was first and foremost, it was an opportunity for us to give our high performance players, a stage to play on. And given we're obviously going through COVID in 2020 and 21 and probably 22 plus, it was really important for us to get our top bowlers out there playing against each other in that sort of, high performance-y space.
So what have you come up with? Because you still haven't told people.
Oh, I haven't
No,
done that yet.
No, all right. You're an amateur.
So in New Zealand, there is actually more than 2 islands, but we're only going with the 2 islands. We're going with the North Island, who are playing the South Island in a three-day series. So if you can liken it to the Ryder Cup with golf, what's happening is for us over 3 days, day 1, Friday, we're going to play 4s. We've got 2 men's sides from the North Island playing 2 men's sides from the South Island, and then we'll have 2 women's sides from the North playing 2 women's from the South in 4s. On the Saturday, we mix it all up, and we have mixed pairs. And that'll be for those that are in the bowls, using the bowls terminology. It's 2-4-2, which means there's no skipping. Effectively, there's no male or female skipping. It's a mixture game. So Saturday is the mixed pairs, and then Sunday it's all on with the singles. 18 games of singles. So we're just recapping: Friday 4s, Saturday mixed pairs, Sunday singles. And I know you want to interrupt me already, Miles, but I'll just add before I forget that within that too, we've also included the para disciplines. So in the mixed pairs and the singles, we have the best of our para athletes out there as well.
So you mentioned 18 singles, so there's 18 players in each squad.
18 players in each squad. Yep, that's my maths.
Yeah, I'm just making sure we got it right there. So 18 players in each squad. Who picks the squads?
So our national selectors have picked them. So Phil Skoglund, and working with the likes of Peter Bellis, Mike Carroll, Sharon Sims, I think, was involved, and others. We picked the squads, and then we've effectively handed them over to two non-playing captains.
Right. So who are the 2 non-playing captains?
Non-playing captain number 1 for the North Island is Sharon Sims, who's obviously a legend in the women's side of the game here, being a multiple Commonwealth Games medalist. And then Morris Symes, most recently known for winning the National Fours, Somerset National Fours in 21. So Morris will be the non-Clapton.
That's right, you can put your teeth back in. That's right, there's no problem. Don't edit that one out tomorrow.
Brilliant. Morris will be that captain for the South Island. He wanted to play, but no.
No, fair enough, and you're giving the opportunity for the squads that are out there now. And I think it's a great idea because of the lack of top-level competition for your high performers. Obviously, you've got the 2 non-playing captains, but you're going to need someone to do the work for each one, to motivate them, to gin people up, to sort of do all the coordinating. So I understand you've picked, or there are a couple of managers, 1 for each side. Yeah,
we went right to the bottom of the barrel first to pick our managers for this year. So we've picked 2 people to look after both sides, and just to I guess put some context around what they're doing. First objective was high performance. The other part though is to put on TV a good high quality product. So, the teams will be out there decked in their North versus South colours. We will have special bowls So one side's we're using black bowls, the other side's using white bowls, and really try and market and promote the game. And what we felt was we needed a couple of people to add to that energy, to look after the teams logistically, but also get the rah and get a bit of fizz into those teams. So on the line, I think we've got these two people, don't we?
We certainly have, and I think we've got Brendan Hodgson representing the South Island, and we've got Mike Carroll in the North Island. Can you hear us, gentlemen?
Yeah, g'day, Miles.
Got one.
North Island's gone a runner already, have they?
I think they have.
Hardly shocking, is it?
Yeah.
All right, so I think what we do, while we've got Brendan online, Brendan, firstly, why do you think you got picked for this particular role?
Well, I was reasonably proud of being picked until I sort of heard Mark comment that he went to the bottom of the barrel there. But no, I think, Miles, that we've obviously got a lot of talent in the South, and they're just looking for someone to pull that together that can put the culture together, I suppose, mate. And look at the job I've done with the Stoke Thunder and Bowls 3-5. As you'll know, we've been pretty good there and pretty compatible. And yeah, just really want to get our group of players together and really take it out on our North Island brothers and sisters.
Have the players that have been selected for your side? How have they reacted to this tournament? What's their feeling towards it?
Oh, they're really looking forward to participating, Miles. I think that, as Mark touched on, the lack of international play has been a real shame for them. And first thing I did was call a couple of the bigger names like McElroy and Edwards, and obviously Mike hasn't got anyone like that he can call upon on his side. But just they really want this to have some intensity, like the State of Origin in your rugby league and the Ryder Cup, and really just find a little bit of hate deep inside themselves for some people that maybe sometimes they're teammates, but in this instance are their enemy, obviously.
I don't think the North Island's going to have much problems of trying to find some antipathy towards a character such as yourself, who knows exactly what buttons to press, Brendan, to wind people up. How much communication are you having with the team?
Oh, just a little bit of it's probably a once a week email at the moment, Miles, around obviously logistics for when we get down there. There's a lot of restaurants to pick from, but then mostly just around culture and having an environment that's all inclusive but also highly competitive. So I really left it in the players' hands to come up with something in terms of maybe a little document or just some words that we live by to really get the culture going, mate.
Well, Mark was saying that the squads have been selected by the national selectors, which makes sense because this is you're trying to give these players the opportunity, and so they can perform well for New Zealand when they get the chance. Who has picked, or have you already picked the pairs?
I think that the pairs were given to us by the selectors as well, actually. I think that probably falls into Morris Symes' category first and foremost, but I have seen those, and I'm reasonably sure that we were provided with those, mate.
And so in terms, I'll ask Mark this one maybe. Has the draw already been made? Do you know who you're going to be playing against, or is you only going to find that out when you turn up on the day?
No, we'll do it pre. We haven't done it yet, but you're absolutely right. I guess a part of the build-up or part of the excitement of this event is that we want to give those non-playing captains, a bit like the Ryder Cup again, the opportunity to pair up, shall we say, their preferred pairing against the opposition. So we will look to do a draw very soon, actually, probably within the next few days, whereby, shall we say that Morris with the South Island will go and put up his top pairing. Sharon with the North will then get to determine who plays that top pairing, and then we'll flip it round. And Sharon will then put up her pairing, and Morris will go, right, I'm going to put up them against that pairing as well.
Yeah, I like that. I like that thought. Brendan, your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously, you've been around the bowling scene. You've got a lot of experience in your team that have been all over the place. Are you going to be looking for pairings that you could wind the opposition up with? So you know that if there's a bit of friction between certain individuals that they've had sort of, dust-ups at nationals or tournaments, or people that get on each other's goat, so to speak.
Yeah, I think so, Miles. And that's probably a job for Simesy, but we've sort of had a bit of a discussion around that. And just with a huge abundance of talent in our South Island side, it probably doesn't matter who we line up against who, really. But it's a home game for us as well, mate. And the team, they're certainly fired up to be on home soil. And you just have to look at our team. There's world titles littered throughout. So, pretty confident whichever way they draw things out and try to go tactically that we've probably got a bit much for them, really.
I guess, Miles, too, where this becomes really quite interesting, quite exciting is when we do the singles, though. Because that's when you are going to go, Symes is going to have to go, right, this is my number one singles player. And then Sharon will put up a player against that person and swapping it around. And those singles
But does it have
matchups,
to be the number one, though? This
not at
is
all.
the number one position.
No.
Because if you start doing that, you're going to get, some of the sort of more fragile egos might say, well, look, I'm better than them. Why not I number one? So basically, it's just the batting order.
It's the batting order, but you get to choose who you bat against in that session, right? So it could be that for the South that Shannon's put up, and the North might go, right, we're going to put our top bowler from the North against them, or we're going to put one of our up and comers against Shannon. So a little bit of intrigue there, I think, in terms of what those matchups look like.
Brendan, the motivation down there, I wouldn't imagine you probably need much, being the sort of, the more impoverished, lesser island of the two islands. In fact, I have heard that the only good thing that comes out of the South Island is the electricity that comes up to the North Island. So it won't be hard to motivate.
No, I wouldn't have thought so, Miles. And you look at our squad as well. We got 9 of the 10 that were picked for the World Championships that obviously didn't go ahead. So they've probably got a little bit of a point to prove to make sure that they're still the top dogs, I suppose. And the North Island side, they're going to have a lot of issues. They've obviously got a manager that is struggling to come to terms with the fact he's actually not in the run-on team as well. So there's probably a few issues there, I think.
I heard rumours that that half of your team have come out of the local retirement homes. Is there any truth in that?
Well, you know what they say, mate. Old dogs for the hard road and puppies for the pavement. So, can't be too upset there. We've obviously got some enormous talent in that side, mate. So, yep, I know that their team does look like a Burnside under 26 or a Kitty Hawk field possibly. But, there's something to be said for experience, really.
Having it at home, are you expecting much support to come down there?
Yeah, I heard from quite a few of the Dunedin players already that they're looking forward to getting along and getting behind the South Island side. But, it's just a big thing for us, I suppose, that it is a home game for us. The first 2 North-Souths have obviously been a different format, but have been played in the North Island, I believe. So, yeah, good opportunity to get on home soil and try and defend the fortress.
Mark, this is, I'm assuming, because I'm excited by it, so I'm hoping this is the truth. You're hoping for this to be an annual event from now on?
Oh, yeah, it has to be. And it's almost what our sport's been missing. So there's quite a gap between our national championships, our singles, pairs, etc., and playing international bowls. And international bowls, it's almost a once a year World Champions, Commonwealth Games, or Trans-Tasman event. So what we want to do is try and bridge that gap, and this is perfect for that. So yeah, absolutely, year on year, this should become very quickly our premier domestic event.
I suppose it's a bit early yet to get it going. I've no doubt there's going to be successful, but any thought of inviting our Trans-Tasman cousins to put a team in?
Not one thought, Miles.
Good.
No, they can stay over that side of the Tasman. No, this is about New Zealand's players, New Zealand's best players. Look, I'd like to add in next year the visually impaired into it as well, and because they are a big part of our high performance program going forward. But no, this should be the best of the North playing the best of the South. And you'll notice, Miles, that we didn't get too fluffy with the rules. It's really where you play bowls. We haven't gone and,
where you were born,
which all gets very confusing.
What about these, I'm trying to think, mercenaries, the likes of Lawson. In fact, there's so many bowlers go around that bowl for members of about 73 different clubs. How do you dictate if they're a member of more than one club? Which one's the one that...
Yeah, but there's only one bowler out there who's confused about which island to play out of. Everyone else is playing out of
Which bowler is that? Come on, let's out him.
Everyone else is playing out of 2 or 3 clubs within the one city, but there is a bowler that gets a little bit confused about, which island he lives
living on.
Yeah,
exactly I think I know the one that we're talking about. But Brendan, I'm fascinated. Do you know what colour you're going to be bowling with, and did you get a choice?
No, I think we're bowling with the black bowls. No choice at all, but I heard the other day that in fact we've got black. So trying to hunt down some suitable ones for a couple of our sponsored stars, I suppose, is going to be a bit of an issue for us. But that's a good thing about having good players. They're obviously attractive to bowls manufacturers to have on board as sponsored players, Miles.
Fair enough too. I understand we might have Mike Carroll joining us now.
G'day, Miles. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Well, you've been much maligned while we've been waiting to get you online by your counterpart, Brendan Hodgson. He reckons that you've just got a bunch of kids who won't be able to handle it when it comes to the big day.
Oh, no, I heard the rubbish coming out of Brendan's mouth, and, he's allowed to say what he wants to say, but, let's tick a few boxes here. Obviously, we're very keen to create an atmosphere around this game, Miles. And, we want to point to Brendan that obviously the selectors have had some issues trying to find players from the south because I've had to bring a couple out of retirement to play. And that's something that they have to live with, and we'll see how that goes for them.
Brendan did say, though, Mike, that 9 out of the top 10 that would have been representing New Zealand are playing for the South Island. Does that leave you a little bit light on star power?
Well, no, not at all. I thought we see that slightly differently. We don't have any egos in our team like they do. Some would say a few of them are over the hill. And I think you'll find, especially on this indoor surface, that our team's probably better equipped than theirs, to be fair.
How do you respond to that, Brendan? Do you think you're underprepared for the indoor stadium in Dunedin, which presumably most of your guys have played on?
Yeah, well, I think, it's a bit rough to sort of say that we can't play on our home turf, Miles. You don't hear that about the All Blacks at Eden Park very often, but I think it's quite evident by how much Mike's trying to hype them up that, you just have to really query what they've got to offer.
Mike, I don't know whether you've started the sort of psychology before it. We've seen it in things like the Ryder Cup that comments get made to the media to wind people up. But I understand from the non-playing captain of the South Island that you've been in regular contact with him. Is that trying to put him off, or are you trying to elicit a bit of information?
Well, I mean, I don't know where he got that from. I certainly haven't had any contact with him at all, to be honest, Miles. So, I'm really focused on our team. I think man for man, lady for lady, we're a far superior side, and we'll prove that in a couple of weeks' time.
Are you looking forward, Mike, to the fact that it's like an away game? When I used to every week go and watch football. I used to love going to the away games. I like being the one that's sort of like the underdog or the outnumbered. Are you quite looking forward to taking your team down there into their territory?
Oh, absolutely. The trip for us is going to be a good one. We're just hoping that the trophy's big enough for us to drink out of.
Is there a danger? I'll ask you this, Brendan, because I know that you've got sort of, shall we say, a social bent as such. You enjoying yourself. Is there a danger that the discipline of your side going down there and away trip with the squad, that they might start misbehaving and not focus on what's going on the green?
Oh, I wouldn't have thought so, Miles. I was quite astounded when Mark Cameron said that Mike and I can sort out any rules around drinking between ourselves. We probably weren't the right people for that. But at the end of the day, this is, we want this to be the equivalent of an international fixture. And most of our players have played internationally very often, So obviously we do like a party. I think that if the North happened to win, their party would be very boring with the shortage of personalities they've got. But they've obviously got Mike trying to raise their profile, and if you see his stature, he's probably not the man for the job.
Do you think, Mike, that because you've got a younger squad, you're liable to have more control over them in terms of keeping them disciplined, whereas Brendan's squad are liable to turn around and saying, mate, don't tell me what to do, I know what I'm doing?
Well, that in itself is going to be the problem for the South, isn't it? I mean, let's look at their team. They've got a lot of egos. I mean, I don't really know what sort of voice Brendan will have with that group, to be fair. And if there does, it'll be minimal, obviously. As they say, too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. We've got, I think, a very balanced team if we look at man to man. You know, we've got someone like Jamie Hill. You don't forget, he was in the top 16 indoor players in the world at one stage. You know, I don't know if any player in the South team got close to that. And then you put people like Raymond Martin, who's probably currently the best player on the indoor surface in New Zealand, mixed in with Seamus Curtin, Finbar, and of course all our ladies, starting, you know, with you got Selena Smith, Claire Hendra, Leanne Polson, Nicole Toomey, Lisa Prideaux, Dale Rayner, Ashley Jeffcoat, Debbie White, and Linda Bennett. So hard team to beat, I would suggest, Miles.
But I've got to say that on the surface of it, that's an impressive side. What have you got to fire back with, Brendan? Name some of your stars.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'll have to go through their CVs quite like Mike did there. Most of them are reasonably well known already, but, you know, some of our highlights, mate, we've obviously got Joe Edwards and Val Smith. Well, you know, their contribution to the game nationally speaks for itself. And then some of the up-and-coming players, Taylor Bruce and the ladies' side of things. And then we've actually got some dark horses as well. One that I know very well, Barbara McGregor, Nelson ladies. She's got, I think, well over 40 centre titles. So we've got proven winners, mate. And then in the men, you know, some big names, Kernahan Lawson, Calvin Scott, Shannon McElroy, you know, Brucey Wakefield. He's just been going sensationally. You know, we're just packed with very experienced players.
Mark, what sort of monitoring are you going to do on behalf of Bowls New Zealand down there to ensure that it doesn't? You want a bit of friction, you want a good bit of competitive nature, a bit of banter, but to stop it sort of getting carried away, because bowls gets a reputation for being this sedate game, but there's a lot of passion out there.
Yeah, and we absolutely want to show that emotion. We want to put that on screen because, I speak about it enough, but we paint a picture of we have been painting a picture of being granddad and his whites playing bowls on a Saturday afternoon kind of thing. Every time we get on TV, we want to show, a bit of colour, a bit of emotion, a bit of passion, whether that's in how we act or how we support. Really want to get them behind it and show a good product. I do feel like we've don't forget this was always about North versus South. I feel like we're in danger of pitching this as New Zealand under 25 against the New Zealand over 50s. So we do need to just pull that back a little bit and just keep going north-south, eh?
Yeah, I'm happy north-south. It's just that they're telling me that the south is full of geriatrics, and I, as a North Island person who's had one toe for 18 months in the South Island, and it's Queenstown, which really doesn't count as a South Island, does it? It's not really typical of the South Island.
Miles, if I was you, though, we should be a little bit uncomfortable ourselves talking about over 50s as being geriatrics, though, eh?
Yeah, or we can be realistic about it. We can be realistic about it and take the tackle on the chin. Brendan, you're obviously I've met you many times, and I'd see you as a really passionate and fired up individual. Whatever sport you get involved in, how much do you want this to succeed, and how much are you invested in it?
Oh, mate, ever since I first got the phone call, straight home, kept my permission slip signed with the wife to go away for 3 days, and I thought that'll be it. That'll be, the job's on down there for 3 days. But as it turns out, mate, there's probably a couple of hours every day in the build-up, screening every third call from Mike Carroll, and just trying to really do what we can. I must admit, we've done a bit of work together on some logistics things, and he's a nice bloke to talk to daily, but this really needs to be a massive event on the program, and our players are certainly feeling that way, mate. They can't wait to get into it.
Mike, I understand that North Island's going to be bowling with white bowls. Just my automatic instinct, I think of like North-South games in the All Black trials when they used to play those type of games. I would have thought the South Island would be white and the North Island black.
Yeah, and you're right, Miles. Traditionally, that is the case. We're not going to get caught up on who should be playing on black and who should be playing on white. Brendan's done a good job with his team. We're doing an exceptionally good job with our team.
Magnificent. Now, Mr. Cameron, what uniforms are they going to be wearing?
We're getting some specially designed. So north and south colours. One will be predominantly black and the other will be more of a grey and with a bit of white in there just to separate them out. but especially special uniforms for the players, and also the keepsake for the players as well. They'll have their caps. So we really want to try and promote it and show it off.
As an interested spectator, I'm really excited by it. I think it's going to be brilliant to see. It's the North v South, but also the individual battles that are going to be going on. I like the what was it, the 242, 424, 242 format. I saw that down at Howick last year. That's a great little format as well, so it mixes that up in that direction as well. Are you hoping from Bowls New Zealand, what sort of audience are you hoping to get? And where about, you keep mentioning the television, the coverage of it. Where is it going to be broadcast?
Yeah, so we're still in discussions. It'll be somewhere within the Sky Sport Network. That's really important, that we're on that TV, that we're actually showing our bowls to as wide a possible audience. We want to show bowls to a non-bowls community, and whether that happens this year or longer term, but we really want to put up on TV to that general sports follower like yourself, a good quality product, good battles, that emotion, that rivalry you get out of a North type South event. We want to put that up on screen for people.
Do you know, it's the 3rd to the 5th of September, do you know what the playing hours are?
I roughly do. Friday. Ask me technical questions.
I should ask Erin.
Yeah.
Get Erin over.
Friday's 2:00 start with the forwards. So that'll run through to about 8:00 at night. Saturday and Sunday, 10:00 starts, running through to about 7-8 o'clock at night. What we're doing this year is we're going to televise 2 rinks. We'll stagger the starts of the games. So if you can imagine that we'll start the first round on Friday at 4 o'clock. We'll be covering that game, and then we'll start on the rink next door another game at 5 o'clock, so that there's never a stop, if that makes sense, so that we're always covering bowls. So we'll cover that first game through its entirety, and then pick up the second half of that second game, and then we'll go second half of the second game, right through the day.
So you've got a consistent amount of footage coming out.
There'll be no running away getting a cup of tea.
There we go. Gentlemen, it's been fascinating here. What I'd like to do is give you an opportunity to make your final statements, like your closing statement, as if we're in the court of public opinion. As we started with the South Island, we'll finish with the South Island. Brendan, your final words.
Oh, thanks, Miles, and thanks very much for your time today. I think just as the South Island side, just really looking forward to being at home and really looking to try and get one back. I think the North won the North-South last time. So as much as it's a different format, that's probably one thing that maybe irks a few of the players that were involved. And they really want to make sure that they, this is going to be a long-time tournament, that we lock away the first proper running of it.
And Mike, your final words.
Yeah, like Brendan, Miles, I'd like to thank you and Mark, obviously, for today. And obviously Bowls New Zealand for putting this format together. We're very proud to be from the North Island. I know our team is very excited and looking forward to it. And we have communication daily just to keep that culture building up within our group. The North are very proud, as you know, and really looking forward to the weekend. So, we look forward to catching up with the South when we get down there. But there will only be one winner, and that will be the North.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Mark Cameron, before I sign off, have you got the trophy already? I know you said you're working on the uniforms and we're only a couple of weeks away from kickoff, but have you got the trophy yet?
It is being built at the moment. So we're now going with a shield. So it's a very, very big shield.
Like a Ranfurly Shield type thing, and you put a little silver plaque on? Or?
No, we're more going with that carving.
So a bit of... I notice you've got Aotearoa underneath Bowls New Zealand now, so you're getting really, modern with it. So is it going to be like a Māori-centric carving?
Absolutely. So we're really, really keen to go out with a splash, or when we hand over that trophy or shield in this case, that it's significant, that it means something. So there'll be the carvings with the North and South Island on
Medals for the individual participants?
No, we're just making this all about the victory. So whoever's the best, North versus South, whoever the winner is there.
Just a little word of advice. The last mouldy carving I saw present, I think the Canterbury team destroyed it, broke it after about having it for an hour. So, but just make sure that you hand it over to someone responsible.
Well, that's why these two gentlemen are involved in this event, because they will be the responsible ones. They'll be ensuring that our athletes perform and behave, and to the standards that we expect.
3rd to the 5th of September, everyone, down in Dunedin or somewhere on Sky Sport. Will be easy enough to find.
They were rampaging along, won their first 2 games. They've lost their last 2, but they could have probably won both of them.
Fantastic looking facility there in the deep south.
I'm sure they're going to come out firing tonight.
From memory, he was leading last week. Are you going to be leading this week, or?
For bottom with 6 points and second for bottom with 4. Yes and no. Yes and no. It paid off for them. They got a 2, double the 4 and won 6 points. Depends what the teams above you do, doesn't it?
Unbiased, Miles Davis.